Um, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello everyone. We are from Group 7 of Literary Criticism Class C, and we are going to present about postmodernism on John Mack's poem, Voice or First or What. And this is the member of the group. First is me, Abdi Gusti, and then Brilian Marvel and Marshanda, and the last is Muhammad Firhan. So we picked John Mack's poem. The title is Voice or First or What, and the most dominant characteristic in this poem is self-reflexivity, because in postmodern, self-reflexivity is a metaphor for the current age's ontological questioning, discussion, and worry. And postmodern fiction, by emphasizing its status as an artifact, purposefully calls into question the link between reality and fiction. So the next will be presented by my friend.
Okay, thank you, Gusti. So this is actually the second stanza from the poetry itself. And I agree that this stanza shows that the author is in the imaginary of a relationship. It feels that it isn't and became someone's character. And also the author wants the partner to change his or her mind and forget their names. Okay, so next we continue by my friend.
So next is in the sentence saying we live in parenthesism. It indicates that there are several depictions between reality and fiction referred to in the word parenthesis, which can be identified as a form of restraint in his life, such as brackets or parentheses. Next. Next is in the sentence where we are lying together in a sense of faithless phrases and embedded characters betraying lust and various changing constructions. The sentence showing an anxiety of the present age about their true character and personality, where it has been contaminated by many things such as lying and betraying, and shaping the character itself, which raises questions about him that led to anxiety. Next.
Okay, so I will talk about this. So are you where we are born from this poem? In here. What are you saying? Where you at last see nothing, I can see your silver ring. I think I'm beginning to be afraid. It is shows in the last stanza that silver ring means wisdom or purity, but he still feels afraid of the beginning of maturity. So I think that's it from us. Thank you. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
And we will continue to our mind map. We're talking about the postmodernism criticism. So this is our mind map. We're going to talk about postmodern criticism. So it is start with this. So my friend will be present this first structure.
Okay, so I will talk about structuralism, its historical development. So the first is pre-Saussurian linguistics. So in the 19th until 20th centuries, philologists discover how certain phenomenon as word as or sound in one language have changed etymologically or phonologically over several centuries, known as the mimetic theory of language. According to this theory, the symbol or a word equals a thing. And second is Caesar's linguistic revolution. So the Ferdinand de Saussure introduced the synchronic studies focus on problems at the phenomenal level rather than on issues that rise from time to time. Linguist research between time intervals is referred to as diachronic research, and it is carried out at each time interval and linear calculation of the process of change that occurs. Okay, and the last one is lang and roll. So the lang is according to the language system grammar or dictionary. So it's the literal meaning, and the parallel is depending on the context, the situation, utterance, and speech act. Okay, thank you. So next will be presented by my friend.
So the next is postmodern and modernity. So for Franklin and other Martin thinkers, the primary form of discourse is like a map. For Derrida and other postmodernists, there is no such thing as objective reality. Truth itself is relative depending on the nature and the variety of cultural and social influences in one's life. In postmodernism, each viewer creates his or her own subjective picture of reality. Derrida, Foucault, Lyotard, Rodri, and others argued that modernity failed because it searched for an ultimate point of reference. Next will be presented by Marvel. Marvel.
I'm sorry, Gusti. I think it's Marsha right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay, next is modernity to modernism. There are six parts. The first is in 1914 until 1945. The term modernism was given to an aesthetic movement that considered the ideals of British Victorianism and the material and psychological devastation of the two world wars. Artists and writers began to emphasize the subjective way rather than investigating the actual object. It also made permanent distinction across genres, reject pre-existing aesthetic theories, and use Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung's psychoanalytic theories to highlight unconscious elements. It begins to introducing ambiguity and fragmentation, and they also view life as a college rather than a map. Structuralism uses linguistic techniques, methodologies, and vocabulary, giving a scientific view of how we achieve meaning both in literary works and every cultural act. Next will be presented by Marvel.
Okay, thank you, Marsha. So actually, this post-structuralism, post-structuralist theory crucially problematizes the reliability or stability of meaning, placing language in a place where it lies between the signifier or word and signified concept and referent thing. In post-structuralism, language becomes text or textuality. the insistence on the fundamentally unreliable, shifting nature of meaning produced a theory of literature which profoundly questioned the relation of language to empirical reality. This radical view of language is perhaps most readily associated with deconstruction also. Okay, I think that's the end of our presentation. Thank you very much and bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.